When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you are in the championship rounds with the one and only King Amin of Essex. And I'm here with a boxing legend, a Philadelphia legend. And I'm not just saying these words. I'm saying this because this is true. This is a man that has reinvented himself time and time again. And that's why I'm blessed to have this opportunity to speak with the one and only Hammer and Hank Lundy Jr., ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to, what I'm saying, just Hank, just, say something to the people right quick. And you know, give him a quick greeting. You with me, champ?
Yeah, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
No, I was just trying to stall out, really, but we're gonna get right to it, right?
Let's go.
All right, now, right off top, first of all, happy belated birthday. I know you had a birthday on the 3rd, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it, my guy, appreciate it.
Because it ain't easy the older we get, you know what I'm saying? And listen,
I'm 25. I don't know what you're talking about.
See? Still, you Benjamin Button. Aging
I'm
backwards.
Benjamin Button. I don't age, baby.
Now, speaking of which, I just want to ask you, like I said, this is really, we just going to really kick it. When you came up, did you come up in with any siblings in Philly?
Oh, yeah, I had one brother, 2 sisters.
Okay. Now, you see, I everybody, if they don't already know, this man is representing the fighting city of Philadelphia. I'm on here representing for Philly because, Newark and Philly is similar cities, Baltimore, Buffalo, we all the same kind of rough and tumble, blue collar port city. So I'm repping for my man Ethan Badlands Burgos out of Philly as well. I got a funny question for you. Do you remember as a kid your first fight?
Actually, man, I had a lot of fights growing up, man. I was that dude, man. I look at you, you look at me, I'm punching you in your face.
Okay. Now, so you was the kid that was probably everybody else's first fight. Like, I went to school today as a kid. Hank jumped on me.
Yeah, man. Listen, I was going through so much as a kid, man. I was wreaking havoc on everybody, man.
Yeah, nah. And those things happen. I always go back to it because that's one of the things where some kids get their first taste of boxing. Everybody look at him and say, "Oh, we better put this kid somewhere for he end up down and where he don't need to be." So,
right.
And I know that's a great place for a lot of people to start now. You've started, a lot of fights in the street, but you've also had a lot of professional fights. I mean, your resume is so deep, and we're going to get into a lot of aspects of it, but they seem to keep bringing you back as an opponent. And some people don't like that. They don't like that position. But first of all, what do you think about that whole concept of when you hear a fighter being brought in as an opponent with that whole phrase, that phraseology?
Listen, I put it like this, man. I look at it as I'm still winning in life, because I could easily be out in the streets or be dead or in jail. You know what I mean? So I take an opportunity like this to show the world my talent, where I come from, show the kids in Philadelphia, or not just Philadelphia, but across the world, that if you put your mind into something and you want to be different, you can be different. And I built myself into a TV fighter. So if you want to take anything from Hank Lundy, look what I came from. Look what I accomplished in the sport.
And keeping it right there. This is why that's one of the things that keep you going, keeping that message and that sense of resiliency and showing people they can get it from the mud. But I gotta ask you something. I don't want to be too personal on the business side of things, because boxing is worse than them streets you talking about.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
What and how do you keep going on the business side of things, man?
Well, one thing they know at the end of the day, when you get Hank Lundy, you got to pay, because I'm putting butts in the seats, and I'm a fan favorite, baby. But more so, the mentality that you got to have in this game to stay mentally strong. You got to be strong, because this game could break you, man. It really can break you, and they can't break the kids.
Nah, never seen it happen. Been in there with a lot of great fighters, never seen it happen, right? Boxing is taking you overseas, Robbie Davies Jr., right?
Yeah.
Now you doing business with Black Prime. You've been brought in as an opponent against Adrian Broner. And so it's a twofold kind of question. How is Black Prime doing business? Like when they reached out to you, right? Number one. And number two, how did you feel when you got that call? Because I know you was already getting ready for that 8-0 kid from California, Tito, right. What's his name, right?
Right. Well, at the end of the day, man, you got to think about it. I'm Hank Lundy, man. Yeah, I mean they know where to go. And I ain't gonna front Black Prime, man. They've been great. They've been phenomenal, man. I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? I ain't listen. Blessings to them, man, and thank you for working with Team Hammer, man. The sky's the limit for him, man.
He said he can't leave rap alone. The game needs him. He out there like, oh, right?
Yes, sir. It needs me.
Nah, that's beautiful, man. Because a lot of people don't understand there's so many layers to being a fighter. I know a lot of guys, they intend on being a fighter, but to put them butts in seats, to be able to show up when that moment comes. Because another funny moment I seen the Shenard Bunch fighting, and a lot of people, you was brought in as an opponent. I guess the idea was you got the young guy, you want to give him a name, put on his resume. That fight was not easy, neither inside nor outside for Shenard Bunch. And I just I wanted people to know, what was that experience like being brought in for that fight?
Listen, like I told him, I used to beat up on you in sparring. You ain't. What you think I'm gonna do with those smaller gloves? You know, and I'm gonna keep it real. If it wasn't for that fight that happened out in the crowd, I'd have knocked him out because he was hurt bad. And you know, we got like a little 15 little minute, 20 little minute thing in the ring where we were sitting down. I could have finished him the next round. But you know, that's neither here or there. You know, little fix was in. But I don't think that kid gonna be the same after that, man. He been hit.
Well, and that's one thing too, talking about resiliency, because that's the mental part of this game. You thinking you going in there, I'm just going in there against Hank Lundy or whatever fighter that's being brought in as an opponent. Shout out to my guy Noe Lopez, guys that are being brought in as an opponent, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, he's still there in against one of the top guys, because this younger opponent needs to be measured against a veteran,
And I'm willing to test him. You know what I mean? Listen, I go anywhere, man. I told him we can get the phone booth fight, man. I'm ready for it all, man. Let's get it.
No, definitely, man. So I just want to get into a few topics that's out there. We're gonna breeze right through them because for me, this is sparring where this is my kind of sparring where I get to see how I get to move against a box of mine. So um, Anthony Joshua, he's been reported to fight Jermaine Franklin. This is heavyweight division action. And on one hand, you got Anthony Joshua, who I think for being a UK fighter, they did him more justice because UK fans are supporters. And you've been out there, like I said, you've been out there against Robbie Davies. I feel like they support his return in the ups and the downs, right? Now, he's in there against Jermaine Franklin, who's being brought in as an opponent, was brought in as an opponent against Dillian White. Are you familiar with either of those two guys? And what's your opinion on that situation?
I'm not too familiar, but I'm gonna actually, no disrespect, but I'm gonna try to, look them up, man, and find out who they are. But I do know a little bit about being brought in as an opponent, man. People got a tendency to look over you and think you're not gonna show up, and then until it's boom, you surprise them.
Yeah. And like you said, like I'm saying rather, fighters that, had not experienced that continued success with the ups and downs. He's coming off a loss to Usyk. But I think, like I said, the UK supports him, but he still may not be all the way there. And then if Jermaine Franklin come in there with that mentality, like he's not to be played with, I think this should be a very exciting fight,
Right.
Another aspect of the sport that's growing, I want to pick your brain about is women's boxing. Real heavy for me, real serious. I do my homework. What do you think about, because you've been around for a while when women's boxing was, real slow, it's blowing up. What do you think about it?
Man, I love it, man. You're giving women a chance to showcase their talent and make some big money, man. They deserve it too, man. I'm not sexist, man. I love it, man. You got some women out there that can fight better than these men. I'm keeping it 100. I love it.
Absolutely, and not only do we have a bout with Natasha Jonas, she from the UK, Team Great Britain, Olympic fighter. Her and Clarissa Shields, they're looking at an April bout. I seen some footage with Shields and her trainer, John David Jackson, sparring, right?
Right.
And we know that's common. People don't understand. If you don't know boxing, you don't understand. Women and men spar all the time because sometimes the women can't get to work, right?
Right.
So I want to ask you, do you think there'll ever be a situation like even on an exhibition level where you'll see a man versus a woman in the ring, even for an exhibition, or we too far away from that?
Man, no, most definitely. Look, we gonna see that, and I ain't gonna front. I take it. I guarantee it might be Clarissa Shields to start it off.
Yeah.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, it's a couple names that was out there in the amateurs when she was amateur that she was beating up on. I ain't gonna say no names though, but yo, Clarissa Shields might be the first one to start doing it.
And I want to throw somebody in the bag, not just because she's from Jersey, but Shadeja Green,
Yeah,
light heavyweight, you know. And I know guys that can vouch for taking, you know what I'm saying, a whooping from her. So, you know, hopefully, you know, if that's something that creates financial opportunities, I know you all about creating financial opportunities. So we
right.
hope that that's something that happens in the game. All right. This week I'm gonna keep it in the Philadelphia area. I happen to have had the pleasure of interviewing this brother Atif Oberlton, light heavyweight contender, prospect, but I think he's going to be a contender. He's in action this weekend out in Bethlehem against a fellow undefeated fighter, 12-0. I think his name is Artem Brumov. You know, them European guys is kind of tough, you know.
Right, right. But
But
that Latif, man, I've been watching that kid. I even been in the ring with him when he was amateur, man. That kid's special, man. That kid's special, man. I got him doing something. I got him doing something. You know what I mean? I got him. Listen, that kid Latif, man, he's special, man. I like him. That's my guy.
nah, for sure. And I'm gonna definitely make sure everybody knows, you know what I mean? He's a special fighter to watch, special guy to watch. Last thing before we get you up out of here, real quick, the Chris Eubank Jr. Are you familiar with Chris Eubank Jr.?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's in action this weekend against Liam Williams. That's out in the UK. We talked about that. Um,
Right.
I'm not skipping over Liam Williams because again, Liam Williams is being brought in as an opponent, but
Right.
he's been making some waves. What do you think about that fight?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be a great fight, man. The one thing about this game, man, you can't sleep on nobody that got two gloves and two fists just like you, man. And
Yeah.
I'm like, one thing about it, I ain't show y'all this. I mean, come on. Like, this the game, man. One thing about it, the times have changed, man. And a lot of these young cats, they sleeping on us OGs, man. Especially a guy like me. You know what I mean?
But listen, man, everybody's excited for the press conference between you and Adrian Broner. People going to expect, you know, respectfully, more fireworks outside the ring from Broner than inside the ring. A lot of people are down on him, but this is a great opportunity for him to show he could be on his way to being one of them young OGs, or is Hank Lundy going to keep cashing them checks off of being brought in as an opponent? So I know you're short on time, champ. Thank you for joining me. And any last words you want to share with the people before you get out of here?
Listen, thanks for having me on the championship rounds. And I'm going to end it like this. Hammer and Hank coming to a city in town near you. Watch out, it's hammer time.
Tell him just bring the bag though. If the bag ain't
Just
there,
bring
he
the
ain't coming.
bag. The bag there, we there every night in a fight.
Appreciate you, champ. Have a great day,
Love,
man.
my God.
So yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Hank Lundy, the championship rounds. Thank you for joining me. That was short, but it was sweet, just like we need an exciting fight, right? We didn't even go the distance on this one. All right, man. Join me next time. Be sure to check me out on Instagram, obviously, right over there. Over there. Check me out on Twitter, right over there as well. Salute. We out of here.